Have you ever bought something for your garden from Amazon only to discover that it is completely useless? Now, I've bought some of my favorite gardening products online from Amazon, but it's super frustrating to buy something that has a million wonderful reviews only to discover that it's complete crap. So don't waste your money. Today, I'm going to tell you about my 10 worst garden purchases so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Now, the first one was a great idea in theory, but it did not turn out great at all. Now, I have a small collection of white food grade plastic buckets. I wanted to kick off a series of experiments with root crops, so I bought some clear plastic buckets thinking that I'd be able to show you guys how the roots were growing down in the bucket, and it was going to be really cool, right? Problem is that the clear buckets, even though they came from the same manufacturer, were not made of the same material. And you see me with the lid right now because that's all that's actually left of them. Within 4 months, I would say, I had pieces of plastic all over my garden, all over my patio. So that was the end of the experiment and the end of the plastic buckets. Next on the list, anti-mole, anti-vole plastic. Let me see if I have some of that left. Now, I'll show you some clips up above to show you what this actually did in my garden. I could not get the galvanized steel that I normally put under my raised bed to prevent moles from digging up underneath them. So I found this handy dandy substitute online. I thought, wow, it's actually so much cheaper too. Yeah, there's a reason for that. I fitted out, I think, 4 raised beds that year. 3 of the 4 were completely destroyed by moles. The plastic was so thin and flimsy that moles actually dug up underneath it, and the plastic collapsed down, and so the entire raised beds collapsed. So save your money, do not go with the plastic versions. Number 3 was a pH tester. This was one of those million great reviews. I bought this pH tester after a project I had carried out to amend my clay soil. Our clay soil here is alkaline, and so I had done a number of different things hoping to lower the pH just a little bit more into the acidic line to so that I could grow certain vegetables there. The tester gave me the same results for my native clay soil, as for my amended clay soil, as for the bagged soil that I bought from the garden store. As for horse manure, the reading did not change at all. Completely did not work. The ones I've seen on Amazon all kind of look the same. I just really am suspicious that any of them work. Now I'm going to take you back up to my house so I can show you number 4. And if this video is helpful, don't forget to share it with your friends and family so that they can avoid these mistakes too, and you don't end up with these as gifts. So following the pH tester incident, I heard a lot of good reviews on this other thing, which was going to be a good alternative, I thought. It's Rapid Test Soil Test Kit. Now, these things test not only pH, but they also test your nitrogen, your phosphorus, and your potassium. What you do is you have these little things, you put your soil in, it needs to dissolve, and you have some little capsules that you need to put in there. Then you're going to get your results that you're going to measure onto this thing. But the results are inconsistent, especially with different soil types like my clay soil. If you live somewhere like the US where soil testing is available, send your soil off to your local extension office. This is the best way and the most accurate way you're going to get tons of information about your soil. If, on the other hand, you're like me and you live in a country where that's not an option, then, you know, feel free to play soil scientist, but also just kind of consider that the results may not be exactly what we think we're getting. For the next one, I'm talking about plastic seed starting pots. Now, I'm not talking about these back here. These I actually love. These are my keepers. But what I'm talking about are these that I bought on Amazon. They were the worst possible plastic you could ever imagine. Seed starting, absolutely not. They're super bendy. As soon as you load these up with soil, they're bending really in two. I don't think I had any seeds to germinate that I actually sowed in these seed starting pots. The soil was constantly dry. And now we're on to number 6. I am a huge fan of electric tools. I have a whole line of the Bosch product line, and I even have a bunch of old videos about their different tools. But Bosch did not make an electric tiller, which now I think I probably know why. So I decided to buy this Einhill tiller. Let me get it and show it to you. Okay, so here is my electric tiller. I don't know what I was expecting when I bought this, but I had a really hard patch of land that I needed to till up. I could not even get my garden fork into the clay there. Problem is that it has a safety switch here, and the handle to operate it is here. So you have to kind of, there's no way to press them at the same time, so you actually have to press them with 2 hands. So you have to do this thing. And meanwhile, you're managing an extension cord that comes out from here. I've also had it roll down the hill because it's so lightweight. Now, this is mostly due to our terrain here, But in general, and this applies to whether you're specifically looking at the Einhill electric tiller model or any other electric model, is that I think it's a really bad idea to have an electric cord so close to a cutting device on a tiller that it's a self-driven tiller. So it just takes off by itself. Consider it and then reconsider it again if you decide to buy an electric corded tiller. Okay, and now on to the next one. And there are really good models of these that exist, but I'm not sure that you're going to find them on Amazon. Talking about a heat mat for seedlings or for seed starting. Now this one gets kind of lukewarm, I would say, at best. And from the experiments I've done, I can't really see that it has any effect on seed germination. Now, I do have a friend who has one that is a stronger or hotter version of this. His got so hot, his seedlings didn't survive. I would just recommend forget the ones from Amazon for this. I'm not sure that they're reliable, and I would contact someone at your local garden store or look in the back pages sometimes of your favorite seed catalog. Those will often have them as well. And for the next one, let's go down to the garden. At number 8, we've got rotating compost bin. Now these aren't terrible, but they definitely don't live up to their promise of making compost in 6 weeks. This compost here is going on 1 year. It's almost ready. Now at number 9, I was having a lot of problems with animals digging in my dough dig area, and one of the recommendations had been to buy fairy lights to go around it to help potentially deter animals from that area. Did it work? The solar lights, although they said they didn't require a battery, they actually required a battery. Did not have it at my local electric store. Could not find this anywhere. In fact, I have no idea where this battery resides in the universe. Finally, I decided I was going to pack these up and ship them back to Amazon. But I didn't have time to do that because in the meantime, they got caught up in a weed eater. And that was the end of the fairy lights, and that was the end of that experiment. And for the last one, let's go down to my seed starting area. At number 10, seeds are another thing that are a bad idea to purchase via Amazon. I purchased some pepper seeds and okra seeds. Not one seed germinated. In any case, I think that if you have another alternative, buy them from your reputable seed company. And if this video is helpful, you know what to do.